So which team on this playoff picture, Schrags, do you think has the potential to switch columns? Wild card, in the hunt, division leaders.
Fascinated by the top team in the middle column, the San Francisco 49ers. They're coming off a game where we said, you know what? They played as well as you possibly could in a loss, and they gave it their all to the Ravens. And yet now they're no longer the number one seed in the NFC West. They're no longer the number one seed in the NFC. If the playoffs were to start today, they'd be actually on the road in Dallas playing in the wild card round. And it doesn't get any easier for the 49ers. They now have to go travel to New Orleans. And I look at that game, and you're going into a buzzsaw because the Superdome is going to be bumping. They're going to be excited. And you look at these two teams in that NFC West. Seahawks travel to LA. They've already beaten them once at home. They go to Carolina. That team is not what they were. Arizona. Not a lot harder for the Seahawks than it is for the 49ers. So I not only wonder about that middle column, I wonder if they can then maybe possibly even get bumped to the third column.
What?
Out of the play. Like, 49ers, they've got to be feeling good. I would say this. They get Matt Breida back. They get Dee Ford back. They get Joe Staley back. That's the hope for this New Orleans Saints game. But if you're a Niners fan, you woke up last Monday morning feeling like we're the kings of the world. We just beat the Green Bay Packers in a fashion that was on national TV. We're crowned. This is how fast the NFL moves. Now you're no longer the division leaders. You don't have a home playoff game. And if you lose to the Saints, suddenly that door creaks open for a Rams team that it's surging now after their win. So 49ers, an incredible fork in the road for them this week. They go up against the Saints. After what we felt was a good loss to the Ravens, you realize there are no good losses. You lose 2 straight to the Saints. We could be talking about the Niners as maybe even on the outside looking in.
I'm looking at the Los Angeles Rams. They're sitting right on the outside at 7-5. And for me, it's not about the season leading up to this point. It's about the season from here moving forward. I feel like Jared Goff, for as much as he's been criticized, and rightfully so, you get paid that much money, over $100 million, and then you have games where you clearly can point to one guy and say, Jared Goff, you can wear this one because you didn't play well enough, especially how much money is being direct deposited into your account. But on Sunday, it's a whole different conversation. You know, I say it all the time. I said it earlier in the show. He can rewrite the narrative of this season. Let's just say Jared Goff, he goes out and has an unbelievable December, and he beats the Hawks, Cowboys, 49ers, and finishes off with the Cardinals. All winnable games. I mean, not unbelievably hard. Can he be the new Mr. December? You remember how we love throwing around that title to guys who ball out in a month that matters? If he just runs the table, and all of a sudden we're looking at these guys at 11-5, and Jared Goff playing at top-tier football, 0 interceptions, 350-plus yards each game, Todd Gurley gets cooking. Who cares about what happened?
He can do that against Seattle, those teams you just listed, Seattle and San Francisco?
He's done it before. And that leads me to my next point. They have the experience of playing well when it matters. I get it. Last year, they lost that Super Bowl, but they had to get to the Super Bowl. Like, it's something to walk into the locker room and look at each other and say, hey, yo, we've been there. This month is familiar to us.
Right.
While everybody else is booking their vacations, while everybody else is looking in the mirror shook because they don't know if they can rise their level of game in the month that matters, we know what it's like. Now, the bad thing is the head coach of 49ers also knows what that feels like, and Russell Wilson also knows what that feels like. But the Rams do too. And if they embrace that, then yeah, they can run the table.
I look at a team that I don't think is going to change columns, and it's the Seattle Seahawks. Look, I picked them to win the NFC West, start the division. And I don't say that to start the season. I don't say that to wax my own car. I say it because it was a weird pick at the time. All the heat was on the Rams, and who knows what the Niners are doing. It was a strange pick. And now, like, since then, look what's happened. Clowney, Penny, DK Metcalf looks like a very, very good player. And I come down back. I'm with you, Nate. It's like we can get caught up in some of these young, hot teams. Remember who's peaking at the right time. Seattle's not lost in 6 weeks. And if you are in a street fight, I know what Russ is going to do. I know. I don't know what Garoppolo's going to do. I'm not sure what Kirk Cousins is going to do. Jared Goff, I'm not sure what he's going to do. Like, give me the sure, battle-tested dude who's a Super Bowl MVP peaking at the right time. I picked Seattle to start this season. I will ride with them now. I don't think they're moving. They got it. They got it.
Looking at this playoff picture, I want to ask you guys about the Eagles. After the loss to the Dolphins, the schedule is easy. Does it matter after the loss to the Dolphins, you guys think?
Yeah,
How do you feel about them? It's a wrap?
Yeah. Is anybody rapping about the Eagles today?
I don't know.
They're not eliminated. They're very much alive.
No, but it's like look, do you want to beat Dallas? Does anybody want to win it? This is the kind of thing that gets people in their feelings about a division winner shouldn't get a home playoff game. We should redo the seeding because the team is going to be so bad.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is not dead because they can beat Dallas.
Guys,
I spoke to Brandon Graham on Saturday for a long time.
We love Brandon
I
Graham.
said, how'd you guys handle
Frieder.
Thursday? He goes, we had Thanksgiving off. Every player had Thanksgiving off. So what we did was we watched the Cowboys lose. We know the door is open. We know we could seize
I know where
that.
this is going.
And then you go out Sunday and you lose to the Dolphins. So it's like, you know what the story is, and yet you still can't stop, Patrick Laird and Gaskins and these guys running all over you. Like, it's hard for me to rally around the Eagles right now because...
Can you rally around Dallas, though? I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's fair.
Washington has the most momentum of anybody. It's just crazy.
I will never try to be that dude that's dismissive or disrespectful to guys' talent to say, oh, these guys are bums, they suck. I wouldn't do that. I'm part of the
you don't
fraternity.
do that. Come on.
But watching them lose that game on Sunday, Peter, that was ridiculous. I mean, we were talking in the group chat and you said, just talk to Brandon Graham. And I'm like, okay, that's a leader. That's a vet. That's a guy who's been there, done that. This team has to be ready, right? Bro, it's the first game of December. This is how you start off the most important month of your season. The reason I say it's a wrap because at this point, I think this is who the Eagles are. They are a team that can't get it together.
Can they beat Dallas at home? Yes. Can they beat the Redskins twice and the right
Four
Giants
division
twice?
games.
I don't know if they can. I look at Giants, the Redskins, they're terrible. Can that Eagles team beat them? I don't know. That's not a given.
How are we feeling about the Bears then? Pull up that picture. They're in the right column. They're in the same sort of situation. They've scraped together wins over the Giants and the Lions. That's not enough to get me to believe that they can make it happen. They've got to take on the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. Packers, Chiefs, and Vikings.
They would need an all-time collapse
Where are we at
from
with
the
the Bears?
Vikings. They would need the Vikings.
Last night was big for them.
The Rams are helped by the Vikings.
The Rams
collapse.
could help with that, yeah.
Peter, deep down in your soul, do you not know the Vikings are capable of such a collapse? Look,
I think
tell me they're not.
that might be the story of December in the NFC here. If Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins can't get this one done, but at this point...
To that point, though, Shreds, and Kyle, Kay, we've all been around this game long enough. Those 6 teams, one of those teams will have an epic collapse. It's just unrealistic to think they're all going to be peaking in and of course, there's a conflict of interest when it comes to the schedule makers. So I feel like one of those teams, as far as collapse, one of these teams are going to go in the opposite direction while everybody else is ascending.
So you think the Bears have a chance?
Yeah, if you're on the outside looking, if you're the Rams, if you're the Bears, yes, you have a chance.
Rams
That's
definitely.
what you bank on.
Rams definitely.
Like they got a little going. I don't think the Vikings have a collapse in them. Look. Let's see how Dalvin Cook is feeling today. He left the game. I don't think they have it.
Just like you come off of that Ravens win over the Niners and feel like okay about the. As bad as the special teams were last night, and as much as they couldn't get it done, couldn't stop Rashad Penny and Carson.
They're right there.
They were right there in Seattle.
Right there.
It's hard for me to come up this morning and be like, here we go, and yet that here we go factor always exists.
It might not be a collapse in their play, but it also could be a collapse in confidence. If they get the news that Dalvin Cook isn't going to be ready for 3 weeks, and Adam Thielen still isn't feeling well, as a team, you're like, golly, everybody else is getting healthy, and we're sitting there with our superstars on the sideline. Oh, and not to mention, Xavier Rhodes looks like a shell of himself. Like, it might not be a collapse in game plan or execution by Kirk Cousins. It could be one of those moments where they're like, we just don't have all the horses we need to finish the race.